Hello, my name is Kyle Jenkins, and this is the Loving All Peoples podcast, a podcast about connecting the church to the unchurched. In today's episode, I am going to talk about Jesus and politics. Why in the world am I bringing up politics? Believe me, it's the last thing I want to do in this divisive day and age that we are living in. Bringing it up is a great risk for anyone, but it's worth it to me, and here's why. It is because politics and political divisiveness is causing barriers to the spread of the gospel, and that deeply grieves me. It should grieve all of us. Outside of racism and prejudice itself, it might be the number one issue causing division and hate. We have so much division and hate in our hearts. When division and hate exist in our hearts, we are not going to spread the gospel. We are not going to reach all people, and we especially are not going to reach out to the people that we hate. Therefore, this is a huge issue that needs to be addressed. Before I get started, I want to apologize to some of you beforehand, because to those thinking I'm going to pick a political side, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that is not going to happen. If you know me well, I am choosing the radical side and viewpoint of Jesus every time. This viewpoint will probably surprise you. It might even shock you. Let's get started. One day I was listening to two people have an argument about Democrats and Republicans. It was getting heated, and a debate started to happen about which one was more in line with Jesus. One of them turned to me and asked, "What would Jesus be, Democrat or Republican?" I sat there for a few seconds, thought about it, and immediately became annoyed at the question. My answer to that question was a short and simple neither. He wouldn't be Democrat or Republican. And I just left it at that and left the conversation irritated with the whole situation. In that moment, I wish I had a better answer to that question. I wasn't prepared, even though that is something I've always thought about. This incident led me into finding an answer for myself. Honestly, it would take a few years to come up with my answer. What a tough question. That is, if you have an open mind and you don't have a closed point of view. The answers can leave you in a lonely place at times because the world wants you to pick a side, mostly meaning Democrat or Republican. If one of those is not your answer, you are going to feel like you live on the moon. You may be ridiculed for not picking a side. Not picking a side to most people is the equivalent of picking the wrong side. The pursuit of the answer to this question led me even more into the Bible looking for answers. What is the answer to that question? What political views would Jesus side with? Does Jesus even care about politics? Does Jesus care about our Constitution? Is Jesus for democracy? What is the mission of Jesus? I needed to know the answer because just like you, I am surrounded by Christians and non-Christians with strong political views. Whether it's at a family event, a dinner with friends, or sitting at my kids' baseball game, it comes up all the time. It especially comes up for me because I run a ministry and people want to know my political and theological views, especially because of the people I work with. In the past 25 years, I have mostly worked with immigrants, so that can be a very touchy issue for many people. Many people simply don't want immigrants here, whether they are here legally or not. Some people want to know if I'm choosing to reach and love people who don't come to this country legally. Also, the majority of the immigrants we have worked with are Muslim. Many people fear Muslims, so I have to deal with questions about that. Many people wonder if I'm scared of Muslims. Many people wonder why I'm loving and reaching Muslims. These are real questions and concerns of people. We have also loved and worked with people in the gay community. We have also loved and reached out to the trans community. You can only imagine the questions I get from Christians regarding both of these groups. We have worked with gang members and started Bible studies in drug houses. That doesn't always sit well with people. We have worked and helped women stuck in the sex industry, and many other hot-button people groups, you could say. So yes, people bring it up a lot, Christians and non-Christians. Some Christians want to make sure I line up with their politics before they support us. Non Christians want to know where I stand theologically and politically with the people I am working with. Are you for gay marriage? Does Jesus think homosexuality is a sin? Whether it's a Christian or a non Christian asking, I always try to be ready for their questions, in love, of course. You are going to displease people no matter how you answer, but I have learned if they see love in my heart, then they are usually open to listening and learning. Can we all acknowledge that Jesus and politics can be a confusing issue? People all the time running for office from both sides of the aisle claim Christianity, claim Jesus. Are they genuine, or are they just trying to do it for the vote? That church believes this politically. This church believes that politically. Most white Christians vote this way, while most black Christians vote that way. We are all Christian, right? How can you be a Christian Democrat and be pro-choice? How can you be a Christian Republican and not care for the poor? It is all very confusing. Can we also acknowledge that this can be a painful issue? I have seen so much hurt from politics, especially in the past 10 years. So much anger. Are we not tired of this anger? Are we tired of living in anger and frustration towards people, towards the other side? There is a way to be free, I promise you that, and we will get into that. But it might just be that your anger is not coming from the other side. The anger you are feeling might be from having a wrong perspective. We need to find the perspective of Jesus. But what is the perspective of Jesus? Jesus for president. Sounds ridiculous, right? We think Jesus running or being president is just a ridiculous idea. But don't we as Christians want or even expect our candidates to represent how we believe? If you are a Christian, do you not want the most Christian candidate? Isn't this mostly what determines how we vote? If this is the case, why would it be so far-fetched that we would want Jesus to be president? If you think about it, if we want people to represent our values, then I don't think it would be too far-fetched at all. I hear pastors all the time say from the pulpit, vote for who aligns with our Christian values. Well, why not Jesus himself? He will be king someday, right? So why not president now? But if we want Jesus to be president, do we even know what we're asking for? I have a disclaimer. The following script I have written is in no way a claim of the political beliefs or leanings of Jesus. I am just guessing. Probably wrong on some things, but let's be open to the idea that Jesus could respond to some of the issues the way I'm presenting them. My attempt is to show how Jesus might respond to hot-button issues that we are facing today, if he were president, based on how I read the scriptures. Let's be open that the perspective of Jesus might be radically different from our own. Let's say the country has just elected Jesus as President of the United States, and it's his first day in office, and he is about to do his first public Q&A in the White House press room on national TV. Pretty exciting, right? All the Christians would definitely be excited, right? The non-Christians might be a little nervous. What in the world is Jesus going to say? Jesus for president. Scene. The press room is bursting with anticipation. You can feel the tension and anxiety in the air, somewhere between nervousness and excitement. Some people don't know how to feel. It is the Jesus. One thing is for sure, everyone in the world is watching. Jesus walks into the room. Some in the press room hold their breath. Many mouths are wide open in awe. Billions of eyes are glued onto TVs all over the world with a look of wonderment and amazement. Jesus stands up to the microphone. Everyone in the room shouts all their questions at once. Jesus! Jesus! President Jesus! President Christ! President Jesus of Nazareth! Jesus says, Jesus will be fine. How are you all today? Let's get started. Jesus picks the first lucky person from the audience. Trying to be professional and hold in the exhilaration of being picked first by Jesus himself, She tries to ask a big and broad question that will hopefully sum up what it will be like to have Jesus as President of the United States. What will your main agenda be as president? Jesus looks intently at the person asking the question and then into the camera. My first and main agenda is this: to love each other. I want everyone to love each other and to love all people, all races, people from all economic backgrounds, even people from the other political party. Eyebrows start to raise. I also want you to love all of the countries and peoples of the world, the countries and peoples of the world that I created. Yes, even China, Russia, North Korea, and even Iran. I created them and love them just as much as anyone else. Confusion starts to set in the press room and people watching on TV, a bit of worry even. Jesus takes a deep breath, and he looks deeper into the faces of the people in the room and into the camera, as if he's about to say something profound and is probably going to shock most people. I even want you to love your enemies. Yes, the very people that want to do us harm. Jesus pauses again. Even the terrorist. Jesus takes a moment to let all that he said sink in. Jaws drop in the press room. People watching on TV are dumbfounded. His statement is outright shocking. You can hear the rumblings in the press room. In bars, people start yelling at the TV. Angry people start calling their friends. Panic sets in among the public. As the reality of those words set in, the first feelings of possible chaos is setting in. From 3 words: love each other. After a few moments, Jesus speaks again. Listen closely to my words. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Someone from the press shouts out, "What about white supremacists or right-wing hate groups?" Jesus responds, "Love them too. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people." Another question shouted, "What about Antifa?" Jesus responds again, "My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people." Another shouts, "What about Black Lives Matters?" Jesus responds yet again with the same answer. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Jesus takes a deep sigh. With a slight roll of his eyes, Jesus says, "Wow, this reminds me of my New Testament arguments with the religious people. No matter how many times I make my message clear, you simply cannot understand. But hear me say again, my heart and my mission is to love and reach all people." The next question is yelled out. "What about the bad people in prison?" Jesus responds, "Love and forgive those who do harm and do bad things. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people." Another yells out, "What about the death penalty?" Jesus replies, "Again, love and forgive those who do harm, even murder. My apostle Paul was responsible for the murder of many people, the people who believed in me. My forgiveness of him led to his transformation that led millions to knowing me. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people." A look of disgust can be seen on some of the faces in the room. Another question is asked. "What about war and military conflicts going on around the world?" Jesus says, "Great question. Let's use our budget for sending people all over the world to spread my message and to use our money to help people. No more war. We must get something straight. I want to reach the very people you think we are at war with. Sending missionaries and people to help others is my way of doing things. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people." Someone in the room shouts out, "How can we protect ourselves?" By now, feeling both anger and confusion, People start making plans to go to the White House to protest. Another question shouted, "What about the Israel-Palestine conflict?" Jesus responds, "I want to make myself clear, yet once again. Why can you not understand my words? I love and want to reach Muslims, and I love and want to reach Jews. I am not against anyone or any country. The world makes a mess of this situation again and again. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people." Another question. "Jesus, what about the immigration crisis that is happening?" Jesus responds, "Well, now that I'm president, people will come in droves from other countries to hear my message and to be near to me. Let them come, because I want them to hear my message. People from every tribe and tongue are going to enter this country. That's a good thing. Treat them kindly and even help provide for their needs, even shelter and food. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people." Most Republican leaders watching in a conference room are now about to lose it. Even the Democratic leaders think this is going way too far. Chaos continues to break out. Friends continue to call friends. "Are you hearing this? We have to stop this guy." By now, many have already gathered near the White House. Jesus says, "Next question, please." "Jesus, what about the economic situation in America? What about capitalism?" The reaction of Jesus looks like he got an important question that he has been eager to address. He thinks to himself, "I'm about to start preaching. Remember what I said in my word. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money." Remember the story in the Bible when a rich man asked me how he could have eternal life. What was my answer? I told him, "Go and sell all your possessions and give the money to the poor, and you will have treasures in heaven. Then come, follow me." When that man heard this, he went away sad, for he had many possessions. Remember what I said to my disciples in response to this. I tell you the truth, it is very hard for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of heaven. Remember what Peter said to me after I said this. "We've given up everything to follow you. What will we get?" I replied, "Everyone who has given up houses, or brothers, or sisters, or fathers, or mother, or children, or property, for my sake, will receive 100 times as much in return, and will inherit eternal life." From these stories, do you think I value money and possessions? No, I do not. If anything, money turns your hearts away from me. Your money and your wealth are killing your souls. Your money and your wealth are keeping you far from me. Who told you that it was okay to have wealth? The world? Your churches? Your pastors? I will quote my Apostle Paul. "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, and some people, craving money, have wandered from the true faith and have pierced themselves with many sorrows. I say, give away your money. Share your money and possessions. Use your money only for your basic needs, and give your money to help and reach all of the peoples of the world." In Matthew 6, I only promise you food and clothes in return for seeking the kingdom of heaven of God and his righteousness, not even shelter. Give it all away for the purposes of my kingdom. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. In bewilderment and infuriation, people start shouting in the press room. People are shouting outside of the White House. People are shouting at their TVs. "What is this? This is socialism." Others shout, "This is communism." The crowds are getting bigger and louder in front of the White House. Mobs are starting to form. People are furious. Jesus tries to quiet the room. Do you want me to keep going? Next question, please. Jesus, you are obviously a Christian. Jesus gives a half smile at that statement. Should non-Christians or people of other faiths worry about you pushing your faith on them? Jesus says, I will share my message with everyone. There is only one way and one truth. Truth is truth. I love all people of all faiths, but I will speak to them in truth. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Now the atheists and the people of other faiths start to get angry. More shouts at the TV. This is America! Keep religion to yourself! With a look of great concern, someone from the Christian press asked a question. Jesus, what about our religious freedoms? Jesus shouts back. What religious freedoms? That is an American ideal, not mine. Where in my scripture do I promise you religious freedom? The only thing I promised you is that you'll be hated because of me. I expect you to give up your religious freedoms, even your own life if you have to because of me. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. A follow-up question is shouted from the back of the room. Are you saying that it's okay for Christians to be persecuted? Jesus responds, Of course. I promise they would be. I promise that you will be hated by everyone because of me. I said to my followers, if they persecuted me, they will persecute you also. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The only reason many of you are not being persecuted is because you are hiding my message and not sharing it with others. If you are a true follower of me and spreading my message, you will be persecuted. That is my promise. You should praise God for your persecution. My first followers did. After my resurrection, when my apostles were flogged, after whips of metal and bone pierced the skin on their backs, what was their response? They left rejoicing because they had been counted worthy of suffering disgrace for my name. What did Paul and Silas do after they were beaten by rods and severely flogged and thrown into prison? What was their response? They prayed and worshiped me. Remember what Paul said to Timothy. Everyone who wants to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will suffer persecution. Remember Peter's letter he wrote to the church. Dear friends, don't be surprised at the trials you are going through, as if something strange were happening to you. Instead, be very glad, for these trials make you partners with Christ in his suffering, so that you will have the wonderful joy of seeing his glory when it is revealed to all the world. If you are insulted because you bear the name of Christ, you will be blessed. I will tell you this, persecution will be good for you. The more troubles you face for following me, the more you will rely on me. In fact, the more difficult this world is, the more people will be open to me. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. The same person from the Christian press asked another question. What about the churches? What should churches do? Jesus looks intently into the camera, as if he is speaking to all of the churches in America. He says, open your doors. Be ready for everyone, and I mean everyone. Everyone is welcome. All races, people from all economic backgrounds. Jesus starts to take a passionate tone. I want to see hurting people in your churches. Addicts, prostitutes, gang members, pimps, murderers, adulterers, every kind of hurting people you can think of. Everyone means everyone. I want your churches to be filled with every kind of people. If they won't come to your churches, then take church to them, in their communities, in their homes, in the prisons, everywhere. I don't want to see only Christians in your churches. I have come here for sinners. In fact, if you don't start reaching all people and welcoming all people, I will take away your churches, just like I said I would do in the book of Revelation. I also want unity in the churches. Your division grieves me to my core. Unite together and plan out ways to reach every neighborhood, every community, the red light districts, every drug strip, every brothel, every drug house, everyone and everywhere. Don't let any community or anyone go untouched. Do whatever it takes, even if it means losing your reputation, your friends, even if it means losing your own life. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Someone in the audience screams out, "What about abortion? Are you going to ban abortion?" In classic form, Jesus responds with a question of his own. Let me ask you a question. If abortion is banned, are you willing to adopt the almost 1 million babies who won't be aborted each year? Are you willing to uproot your life for them? Are you going to support and help the new thousands of single mothers? If so, then let's talk. And I will tell you this, I am for all life, life before birth and life after birth. And this country, even my church, now and in its history, has not valued life the way I value life. All life is my creation. All life, all people are created in my image. All life, all people, I love and pursue. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Many people don't know what to think about this one. They don't even know what side he made angry. Another question is asked. What about gay marriage and the gay community? Jesus responds, first off, I created man and woman to marry. If you read my word, there is no denying that. If you deny this, you are twisting my word. But I will say this, you must love the gay community. Stop your hate towards them. Invite them into your churches. Treat them like family. Your hate for them is your sin. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Someone shouts, what about the trans community? Jesus says, again, you must love them. Invite them into your churches. Treat them like family. Your rejection of them is your sin. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Someone calls out from the audience, Jesus, what about guns and the Second Amendment? The room gets quiet. Jesus laughs out loud, and then he says, we don't need guns. He who lives by the sword dies by the sword. Did you not hear what I said before? How can we love people, even our enemies, even the people who want to do us harm, if we are using guns on them? I don't want you killing your enemies and the people who are trying to harm you. I want you to love and reach them. Put down your guns and go out and love people. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Mayhem starts to break out. The Second Amendment people start to call each other. This guy is a threat to our democracy. No guns. The government will take over. We have to organize and take back our country. The crowd in front of the White House continues to grow. Angry chants start to form. No more Jesus! No more Jesus! No more Jesus! Chaos is starting to break out in the press room. Jesus just shakes his head in disgust. Someone shouts, what about the Constitution? Jesus pauses, as if he knows what is coming, almost like when he knew people 2,000 years ago were about to stone him, or even when the people in his own hometown were about to throw him over a cliff at his next words. Jesus says, the only document that has any value to me is my word. My heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. You can hear people begin to scramble in the background, as if something is bad about to happen. The people in the press are looking around. Chaos and confusion is happening all around the room. The confusion on their faces is almost a plea for somebody to do something, to stop this. New chants outside begin. Jesus is a traitor! Jesus is a traitor! Jesus is a traitor! The crowd is furious. The crowds push towards the White House gates. One more person in the press room tries to scream out a question over all the noise. What about democracy? Is our democracy in danger? Do you even care about democracy? Jesus tries to quiet the room. Quiet, quiet. Let me ask you a question. When I was here 2,000 years ago, did I live in a democracy? Did I try to overthrow the authoritative government of Rome? No. Where in this world is my message moving the most? It is in the countries where things are most difficult. It is in the countries where the hunger is great. Where is my message moving the least? It is here in the United States and in Europe and all of the other democratic countries. That is a fact. The reality is, whatever causes and pushes people to long for me, that is what I want. Whatever political system it takes to move people's hearts towards me, that is what I want. So to answer your question, Jesus pauses. I am not concerned about democracy. My heart and my mission is to love and to reach all people. A man shouts in the room, "Traitor! Traitor! Get him! Get him!" The Secret Service comes running into the press room and surrounds Jesus. That crowd that gathered in front of the White House is now huge. Because of what happened on January 6th, there is now a real possibility that overrunning the White House can really happen. Outside, people even start to chant, "Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him!" Those in the cabinet, the House, and the Senate are calling for the National Guard to be placed in front of the White House, but Jesus refuses them. He refuses protection just like he did 2,000 years ago. With the Secret Service around Jesus, he shouts among the noise, "Quiet, quiet, quiet! I have one more thing to say." Everyone is quiet. He pauses. He waits. He looks intently at everyone. I am stepping down as president. Jaws drop again. This country is not ready for me to be president. If I stayed, you would try to crucify me again. Now you know why I was crucified 2,000 years ago, even by my own people. Even right now in this moment, my own people are trying to throw me out and even kill me. Who are my own people? Who are my true followers? Sadness comes on the face of Jesus. I have already died for all of you, and it is not necessary to do it again. I love you, and I have died for all of you, even the ones who are trying to kill me now. I will stand by all that I have said, but you do not really want me as president. Word starts to get out in the crowd. What did he say? What did he say? Things start to quiet down. Is he really going to step down? Is he really leaving us? Before leaving the room, Jesus says, I want to leave you with this. Although I am stepping down, you have heard my message and my mission many times today. And I want to say 2 words, words that I said to my first followers so many times. Follow me. Follow me on my mission. For my heart and my mission is to love and reach all people. Jesus steps back from the microphone, turns, and walks away. All is quiet for now. I want to ask you all a question. Do you really want Jesus to be president? Do you think many people in the United States would want Jesus to be president? Maybe a few. The few that have chosen to make Jesus the priority and mission their sole purpose in life at all cost. The rest, the people that value politics, even our own country over the mission of Jesus, never a chance. It wouldn't happen. If this is the case, Why in the world do political parties, politicians, churches, and Christians claim Jesus to their party? He doesn't fit any party. I am not saying that politics don't serve a purpose. I am not saying don't get involved in politics or even take stances. What I am saying is be careful when you inject Jesus into your politics. My answer to the question, is Jesus a Democrat or Republican, is this. Jesus and his purposes are far beyond our political party's ideals, and it is very dangerous to even ask the question. Jesus was and is concerned about one thing, restoring people to himself, which means loving people, helping people, and reaching people. That was his main objective. So shouldn't we be about that same objective? If you are asking which political party is more aligned with Jesus, then you are asking the wrong question. The right question is this: what is the mission of Jesus, and what are his purposes here on earth? If you are a Christian, that is the only question that you should be asking. If any church leader, or pastor is aligning with certain politicians, pushing their political agendas, which is happening all over this country, make no doubt about it, it is contributing to hate and division, which is handicapping the spread of the gospel of Jesus. In order to be on the mission of Jesus and spread his message, you have to remember one key thing about people, and especially your political opposition, and here it is. They are not your enemy. They are the very people Jesus wants you to love and reach. Jesus will make a great king someday. But the reality is, he will only be king once his purposes are fulfilled here on earth. If you have any questions, you can contact us through our website at lovingallpeoples.com. And please remember to follow our podcast to receive upcoming episodes. Thanks for the listen, everyone. This is the Loving All Peoples podcast.